Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back. So how is it going? We are creating a momentum now, and it would be lovely to hear your homework, maybe a reminder what it was. There were words that were connected or interchangeable with the soul, but they all had a common element that it helps the aspect of detached involvement. It'd be great if you want to type some of those in the chat. What were the words that were useful that we can reflect on for our meditation? So do write them in. It's a helpful reminder for all of us. I think there are like 6 or 7 words. Meanwhile, the quotes that I find relevant, this one is by Simon Sinek. He said, "Better to go slow in the right direction than go fast in the wrong direction." And why it comes to my mind, the excitement energy, although it feels like a motivator, if it's from an identity, we end up going fast in the wrong direction. And whatever has happened in the past is past, but if we have this clarity and insight, we can really progress. So aspect of progress is great, but which direction? And another profound quote by John Milton that runs so deep. He said, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven." And so it's like a place, and we have the place where we are, but we can have the mind to approach it. It's such a beautiful option. So I'm not seeing any suggestions in the chat yet, but some of those words were soul. We reflected on guest, but also player. And that creates a feeling of balance. And yesterday in the science, yes, traveler, trustee, experiencer. Yeah, that was a new one. The continuity. The experience may end, but the experiencer continues. And then, yeah, that observer, which is building the strength not to react. And point and actor was also a very helpful way to detangle from the roles. So thank you and welcome back to Prashant and handing over.
Hello, and good morning from here, and very nice to meet again. Let us create a few minutes of experience. And all this subject of meditation becomes very, very easy the moment we understand the option of paras. It is just like using different glasses and you see things differently. And what happens? We are seeing that whole physical world, everything that happened today, it happened in the story. It's a story world, it's a foreign world, it's a temporary world. It becomes so obvious. And we are able to come to the world beyond that story. We are able to see the true self as an invisible witness. With the best sight, you see the truth. And so you see the true self. As an invisible witness. And for him, it is so normal to be like a tiny, tiny point. Conscious, living, immortal, but bodiless, and it hasn't got any features. Can't identify based on the face and the nose and the fashion. It is just consciousness. It is normal for him to be immortal. It is normal to belong to that eternal sky. Knows that everyone belongs here. They all are like these tiny, tiny stars. All are safe, all are secure. The visible witness is the invisible traveler, is also the invisible guest, is the invisible observer. That's why witness is also the invisible trustee of many things. But he is not from that foreign world. He is sensible to remain free. And so remain carefree, happy. Thank you. Today we are going to come to the subject of today, and it's a very, very interesting subject. Victory, subject of victory, subject of the game, inner game. And we will be discussing this in the form of a story. And this story is in the Indian culture, more like a culture rather than religion. And that story is called Ramayana, like a big epic. But within that story, we can see a psychodrama that is explained, what is happening in our mind. And we are going to see from that angle, we are going to see the psychodrama. In this story, there are a few characters. One is called Ram, and another is called Sita. Sita is the queen, perfect, beautiful, everything going well for Sita. And Sita, that word, is representing the soul. And Sita is married to Ram. Ram is perfect, he is strong, he is wise, and he's perfect son, perfect brother, in every respect perfect. Whole kingdom loves Ram. So it is representing God. And the third character is called Ravan. Ravan is the king of the demons. And demons, what is it that makes a demon a demon? Do you want to tell? What makes demon a demon?
Nastiness, greed, bondage. He wants to trap people.
In this case, we define demon who takes sorrow, gives sorrow. Dealing with sorrow, that is demon. So Ravan is the king. So he is an expert in this world of sorrow. In the kingdom of Ram, there is no sorrow, no concept of sorrow. So Ravan wants to kidnap Sita so that he can give sorrow to her. That is the grand mission of Ravan. That's the best thing he can do. But he cannot give sorrow to Sita. He cannot kidnap her as long as Sita stays behind this line, dotted line. What is the dotted line? Do you want to tell? That is the dotted line, and as long as Sita stays behind the dotted line, Ravan cannot do anything. What is this dotted line? Everything has symbolism here. So we said Sita, but it is for the soul. Ram, it is for God. So what is the dotted line?
First answer here was the sky. So above is the sky. Other is discipline, which is the original story, code of discipline or conduct. Staying in the good mindset. So above would be good mindset, below would be
We discussed this in some session.
security zone.
Dotted green line. What did that represent, that dotted green line?
The trap.
What expression did we use for that?
Line of ignorance.
Yes. So this is the line of ignorance. So as long as Sita stays behind the line, she's in wisdom, and Ravan cannot do anything. If they are in Paras, they are behind the line. If there is some confusion, then she is outside the line. Ravan is a king in this darkness, in the ignorance. But he is good at one thing, how to get others into ignorance. So he has all clever methods how to trick others. And he sends a golden deer. And golden deer stays outside the line. Sita says, wow, golden deer, so it is perfect. So she is impressed. She says she has to just cross the line once and then take the golden deer, go behind the line. She crosses the line. The moment she crosses the line, now in ignorance, she does more mistakes. In the darkness, it is not so easy to come back into light. Sita gets kidnapped. That was the whole plot, to kidnap Sita. Now she is kidnapped, and she's now in the Ravan's kingdom. And her first posting is she is the slave. And slave to Ravan. Ravan is not just an ordinary monster. Ravan has got 10 heads. And these different heads need different things. And Sita is the slave to supply Ravan. We give the example, say one head here needs cigarettes. So he says, cigarettes. And Sita has to run to the nearest tobacco shop to bring supplies to her master. And master says, good slave, well done. That is not the end of the problem, because as you give supply to this monster, that head becomes bigger, and bigger head wants more cigarettes. and Sita has to run faster. And more Sita supports this monster, the head gets bigger and bigger. Sita is in this trap of the bully. So more she just wants peace with this monster, and more she gives her way of creating peace is give him what he wants. But it doesn't solve the problem. That demon gets bigger, and it becomes a bigger problem. So she's in this trap, you feed him, it becomes a problem, you stop him, there is a monster. He is creating, banging the table. Mm. And then there are 9 other heads. One head wants cigarettes. Second head, what does the second head want? You tell. Second head, third head, what do they need?
At the moment we see one head because you've got the list. Yes, well, cigarettes connects to alcohol. So if you want cigarettes, you tend to want drink. Maybe pleasures, yeah, different kind of pleasures. Greed, so objects of greed could be things, wealth, money, status.
And these heads are very specific. Like one head wants chocolates. One head wants coffee. One head is specialized in job. His whole existence is based on the job and promotion. Another head is based on another person, obsessed with another person. If that person is not there, he takes sorrow. So these 10 heads, they all are caught different things. Ravan can create more heads. This Ravan had 10 heads that when the story was written, but now the Ravan has got many more heads, and different heads need different things. How do you know there is a head behind? Say you may be drinking tea. How do you know there is a tea? It is just innocent, you are drinking tea, or there is Ravan behind it. You may have a friend. How do you know there is Ravan behind this so-called love and friendship? Is there a way to know?
Written by crossing the line of ignorance. How do you know you're in ignorance? So is the question, really. Maybe it's like without connecting to the true self, then you know, or if you're not an observer, if it's for desire, purpose of desire.
Whenever there is sorrow, say coffee, one day there is no coffee, it creates in you, a bit disturbance. Then it means there is a Ravan behind this. Ravan wants that coffee. You think you are loving someone, but that friend is going somewhere else, and you are angry. That means there is a Ravan in that relationship. So these different hates, they are all caught with different things. Whole department of lust is revolving around one head of Ravan that is trapped in the world of lust. And one head is caught with wealth, money, more money, more money. So what are all these heads? What is the symbolism? Ravan and all these 10 heads. What are they?
Are they bondages or sins or desires? Different kinds of
What is behind desire?
vices,
What is behind vices?
weaknesses.
and behind all this?
The cause of weakness. It is something that feeds our identity when we are not knowing the truth, ego, disconnection from the self.
Ultimately, answers are right. What we saw other day, there are different identities. They are ego. It's the identity based on sometimes relationship. I'm the husband of someone. I'm the wife of someone. It's identity, identity based on position, identity based on subtle and gross, but enough to know that there are different identities, and you see yourselves by that identity, and those identities have desires. They are the ones we call them vices. The ego itself is a big vice. So Ravan is embodiment of all the vices. So here is the game now. So Ravan is getting bigger, and Sita has been, trying to create peace with Ravan, and things are not working for Sita. Ram sends a message to Sita. Ram says, "You are in big trouble. You were the queen, and what is happening? You are in the slave to this monster." But Ram says, "I'm the Almighty. I can free you from all this whole situation. I can free you. But there is a one condition, and the condition is that she takes the first step. Condition is that she takes the decision to become free from Ravan." Is it an easy decision? I should say, underline this. This psychodrama is happening in everyone's head. Whether you are young, old, whether you are living in one country or another country, whatever background you are in. There is a Sita there is a dotted line there is Ram, there is Ravan with all this, and golden deer. Everything is, this world is like this. Everyone is into this game, and this psychodrama is going on. So the question, Ram says he will help 100%, become completely, make you free from Ravan. But she has to take a decision. Is it an easy decision for Sita's? Answer is a question for you. Yes or no? Is it an easy decision for Sita to become free from Ravan? She has to just take a decision. And it is not a victory today, but a decision. Ram will give Ram will give help. So this is a condition. And is it easy decision?
Yes, it's
Now, yes, that is a good answer. But we are talking about Sitas in your town. If there are 100,000 population, so they are all Sitas. Is it easy for them to say no Ravan from today?
someone's written it's only easy when there's nothing left to let go.
I'm talking here in this world. Is it easy decision for Sita to take the decision?
Easy logically, but can be difficult to implement.
Implement is, he will give the method. Here it is just a decision.
Easy only if I believe in Ram.
Yeah. Now the choice is either be the slave of Ravan or be the queen of Ram. This is a choice. Is it a very difficult choice? Very difficult decision? But surprisingly, it is a difficult decision, and it is difficult because Ravan has got an assistant, and name of the assistant is Madame Maya. So on one side there is Ravan, the monster, and he has got an assistant, Madame Maya. And Maya is intelligence in the Ravan's administration. Maya is intelligent, so Ravan has appointed her in this important department. What's the important department? Decision making. Don't let Sita take the decision to be free from Ravan. Because moment she takes a decision, Ram helps and Ravan will lose a slave. So the big plan for Maya is don't let Sita take the decision. Try and understand this. So strategic for in our journey, our progress also, the decision. And that is where Maya's job is to intervene. And what happens? Maya goes to Sita's world and becomes a good friend of Sita. In Greek mythology, there is a character called Pandora, and Pandora is called Kakosh Kalos. And she's beautiful and wicked, good and bad, with that meaning. So she's beautiful, but is wicked. Maya is Kakosh Kalos. She's beautiful because such a nice friend of Sita, but she's representing Ravan, and inside demonic, inside wicked. So she becomes such a good friend of Sita. Sita is so likes her so much that Sita appoints her as the main advisor. So whenever Sita wants to take a decision, she sends a WhatsApp message to Maya, and Maya replies straight away. Maya is always on her device constantly. So here, Maya is here. As an example, Sita takes a decision. She should stop smoking. Maya says, it's a good decision. But today, it is now just nearing the end of the year. Just wait for a few more months and start from the 1st of January. So each time you are hearing the word later, you are hearing it from Maya. Another time Maya says, you are weak. And Maya is just, it is not for you. And at another time Maya says, it is so difficult. Another time Maya will say, it's a long, long process. It will take many, many years, decades. So do it gradually. Another time Maya will say, Maya has got corporate lawyers working for it to think of excuses. If and but and try, these are like the commonly used words in Maya's vocabulary. Another set of lawyers thinking of various excuses, and another time doubts. What is the Western form of Maya? What is the form of Maya in the West? In the cities, east or west, in the cities?
distraction,
Yes.
gadgets, technology, fashion, stress, Amazon,
Yes, sure.
delivery, vices.
Yeah, big form of Maya in the West is to keep you busy. You are so busy that you don't even have time to find out why you are busy. What are you doing? Which direction you are going? There is no time for that. I was talking to one person who was working for the company, and he's doing his job, doing that working for the company. And some questions you asked, and he said, "We don't even know what we are working for. What product it is, we don't even know." And he also said, "No one knows." It is quite a, didn't even understand what he was meaning. He says, "No one knows. They all are busy working, extra hours, extra time, and they don't know what they are working for even." But that is like at least a job. We are talking about life. In life, everyone is busy, and they have not even questioned the direction in which we are going. Is this the direction we want to go? There's no time for it, and that is a big success of Maya. You keep going as a Ravan's slave, and he's happy that he's kept busy. People like to remain busy, and they don't even know what they are working for, which direction they are going. So Maya has got few cards, but they are trump cards. The moment you listen to Maya, guaranteed defeat. For example, if you tell yourself you are weak, that is end of the play. Then Ravan can continue as a master. And so here we are seeing a game. And in this game, Sita and Ram are on one side, Ravan and Maya are on the other side. This is a game. This is the inner game that is going on. And as those who hear the Murlis and our text language, that today there was a reference of a war, silent war, incognito war. So it is this war. No one can see this game going on in everyone's head. That Sita and Ram are on one side, Ravan and Maya are on other side. This game, the word used to describe this game is Raz. And I like that word. Raz has got a meaning. It is very significant. It is secret. That's why it is not easily seen. And it affects your life. And it is incognito. So this game is going on in here, and it is very significant. Why? Because it affects our life. In every game, there are winners and losers. So also in this game, there are winners, there are losers. Game is a game. There are sometimes you lose to Ravan, you lose to Maya. Yes, sometimes you win. So if uh, you are a bit, confused, you lose to Ravan and Maya. So this is a game. When there are losers, there are winners. In every game, there are prizes and penalties. So also this game, there are prizes, there are penalties. Now in other game, prizes are a medal, penalties are a red card. In this game, prizes are real, penalties are real. You sometimes see someone's life They are born in such misery, and life goes into one of misery after. It can go for long time. Why? Nothing in this model, nothing happens in a random fashion. It is not a random, someone just born in some place and there is sorrow. There are reasons behind. And that is what the Raz means. There is significance. Sometimes someone is born, the whole world is celebrating their birthday and their life. Everyone is celebrating their life. What an amazing thing. But their life is of perfection, everything going well. That is the life of some people. Why? There is a reason behind. They have done something. They won the game. So if you win the game, there are prizes. If you lose the game, there are penalties. Law of karma is very much connected with this game. So it is other very significant. We can't just say, oh yes, there's a game and continue to lose. Then it is not sensible. There are penalties. Now there is one game, and that game is called boxing, in which player can be made unconscious, knockout, and that is allowed. And when a player is unconscious, he doesn't even know that there was a game. So here also, if a player doesn't even know that he's in a game, we said everyone on this planet is in a game, and someone doesn't even know that he's in a game, it means he is unconscious. There is a knockout. And when someone is unconscious of even the game itself, he is unconscious, doesn't even know that there's a game. He doesn't know who the enemy is, who doesn't know who his friend is. This is why in this story there is one word used, and that word is called Sanjeevani. Have you heard this word before? Sanjeevani?
Yeah, we clicked the link.
So this word, Sanjeevani, is a mythological herb that can revive the dead. And in the story, someone was unconscious and they got this Sanjeevani from Himalayas. That is the story. So true Sanjeevani is the knowledge that can revive Sita, that is unconscious. What's the sign that Sanjeevani has worked? Sign will be the Sita, the person will understand there's a game. What am I doing here? I didn't even know. There's a game going on in our head, each one's head. There is a psychodrama going on. She will realize this. She will realize that there are enemies here. She will see Maya's prompts, she will see Ravan's stubbornness. She will know the enemy. She will be aware of her friend. Friend wants to help her. She will know herself as a queen. If Sanjeevani has worked, she will know herself. What more? What is another thing she will know? And if you get that answer right, if you have not heard this before, if you have not heard this story before, and if you answer, you get a prize. If the Sanjeevani works, she understands the game. She realizes she's in this game. She understands the enemy. She recognizes the friend who wants to help her win. She understands herself as the queen. She's not a slave. And what else she will know?
She will know that she is a soul, and she will understand the difference between the real world and the fake world.
Yes, that is covered in what we saw. Still one more.
She will know how powerful she is.
Yeah, she will recognize herself, we said. She will see that she is the queen and not the slave, we said. One more thing.
She will win the game and empower other souls to win.
Yes.
Truth.
Anyone can answer. You will get a prize. What else she will know? She will recognize.
She'll play the game with this knowledge, so she will use the knowledge. It won't just be academic.
Sure.
Strength and faith of support of Ram.
Sure.
Recognize how not to be enslaved, so she won't get trapped anymore.
Yeah. The word here is she will know the line. If you are playing a game, you need to know the crease. If you are playing cricket, you need to know, otherwise you get stumped. You don't even know where the line is. You cross the line and don't even know that you crossed the line. So here, if you are in the game, you need to know the line clearly. When you are behind the line, when you have crossed the line, you need to know. If you want to defeat the enemy, you need to stay always behind the line. And understand the subtlety behind all this, and to reflect on it. So let us say here is a gathering where Sanjeevani has worked. So Sita is conscious and Sita knows now what is happening. Sita knows about the enemy. Sita knows how this enemy has been, taking advantage, making everybody as slaves and making himself bigger. So we are understanding this whole game. But it doesn't mean you have won. Sanjeevani wakes you up, but it doesn't mean you have won. Game is still going on, and you have to still need to play. Now, one question for you: if a player in a boxing has been beaten up, every round he's beaten up. Sometimes you see boxing, no? The player is bleeding and all this kind of their face, they're injured. So if a player has been beaten up and unconscious, and he is just revived by a referee and ambulance, so he's back into the ring for the next round. What are his chances of winning the game? Are the chances higher or lower? If he was knocked out, unconscious in the earlier round, what are his chances of winning the next round? Higher or lower?
They're lower.
They're lower. If we want to improve the chances to guaranteed victory, what is required? From that position where he has been defeated many times, continuously he has been defeated, and he was a knockout, to change his chances, make him the winner, 100% victory, what change is required? Is it possible? The first is it possible? But possible, if you say possible, how? What is required?
Change of mindset, maybe some time out, some rest and recuperation, knowing the tactics of the other player.
Very good, knowing the tactics.
He needs Sanjeevani. More of it.
Yeah, what is required is new information. If you are in a war, you use the same method and you get defeated, and you use the same method each time, you won't suddenly get a success. But if you get new information that has value, and you need new weapons, new approach, newness, but new information. Now, in the information, what is the most important information for any person in a war? What is the most important information? You need to know your own strengths. What else is happening in your kingdom? You need to know the strengths. Anything you are doing, if you are doing a project, say, your city, your town, planning a project, you need to know what you are capable of doing. If there are talents, there are strengths, there are resources, then you can take on. If the strengths, first you have to see the strengths, and then you can plan. And secondly, you need to know the weaknesses of the enemy. In this game, in any game, I'm talking here in war, so also in the game, you need to know your own strengths and you need to know the weaknesses of the enemy. Now let us see the weaknesses of the enemy here, Ravan. Do you want to tell what is the big weakness of the enemy? Which Sita might have missed in the past, but now she realizes the weakness of the enemy. The enemy here is Ravan.
He's not with Ram, so he doesn't have that strength. Keeping you in the game. So what was the question again?
What are the weaknesses of the enemy?
Yeah, weaknesses. They like to keep hold of power and perfection. So they're always taking something to get that power. So they need that power from something else. And they are consumed by the 10 heads. So in a way, it's multifaceted desire, needs supplies.
Yeah. Now the big weakness of the enemy, if seen here, when we are seeing this game in ourselves, each head of Ravan is dependent upon constant supplies. He needs supplies. Say you got a car, but you have to charge it every 10 minutes. You have to charge it. Then it is not a very useful car. It's constant supply. You have to constantly buy some power. If you do not need anything, then you are in a powerful position. Sita does not need anything for its existence, whereas Ravan's every head needs supplies. Otherwise, it suffers. Constant supply is required, and every day, the supply. Now that is a big weakness, because when there are like a enemy has got a fighter jets, but it has got some fuel, needs a fuel, and you can stop the fuel supply. He can't use the jets. Same here. Ravan has got all these heads, but if you can stop the supplies, then you absolutely defeat the enemy. This is what is called laying a siege in military, where you stop the supply route of the enemy. An enemy has to accept defeat. They have to surrender if you stop the supply route. So here now, Ravan, all the 10 heads, who is supplying all these 10 heads? Do you want to tell? Who is supplying this monster? Bad guy.
Sita is.
Yes, it is like a complete madhouse. Sita is the one who is supplying this monster. No one else. Sita alone is the monster and is the supplier. But that also makes her powerful. She realizes that she is in a position to stop the supply. It is not that she has to negotiate with someone else, other supplier, to stop. She herself can stop the supplies. And if she stops the supplies, Ravan's heads become smaller. She has the option to stop the gross and the subtle. I can stop the supply. For example, cigarettes. I stop supplies. 1 week passes, no cigarettes. Everyone else knows that the demon is much, much weaker if the person has not smoked for the whole week. And that victory is very close. Big victory is possible. Same happens with all the heads. You stop the supply, gross supply, that the heads become smaller. You stop the supply, gross supply, but also the thoughts. Then bigger victory, because that head becomes unconscious. Last breath is oxygen supply is coming from your thoughts. So you don't give the thoughts, that head of Ravan will become smaller. It's a big success. What else do you want? If Ravan becomes unconscious, you are then safely can come behind the line. Their experiences will become deeper and profound. Do you want to add anything? Any questions so far? So we have seen this story.
Yes. Well, you answered this in a sense. Is there an easy way for Sita to distinguish between Maya and Ram? So in a way you answered it, but if you want to add anything.
Yeah. Maya is working for Ravan. Ram is working against Ravan. Yeah.
And someone is asking in the philosophy of Brahmakumaris, is Sanjeevani the readings that come, the Murlis, the morning readings? Is it nothing more than that, Sanjeevani?
Yes. Bottom line is the Sanjeevani is coming from that knowledge, Murlis. Then the next phase is how we understand it, how we interpret it, understanding the right meaning and the application of it.
And question, what if the thoughts persist? So you mentioned that Sita is the main supplier of Ravan, and say Sita stops supplying that head, but the thoughts persist, so Ravan's prompts continue. How do you put a full stop?
Yeah. And a nice program there is keep the mind busy with Ram. Keep yourselves busy with the knowledge of Ram, thoughts about Ram, a task of Ram in different ways. Be clever, keeping the mind busy. And then there is no room for Ravan to use the mind.
What would you say if someone is looking at the root of this story, interested in the original version and also the definitions of the players, such as Maya, if one were to jump onto Google search, for example?
Yeah.
Any comment?
No, you don't need, because it will go into some bigger. There's a bigger story, and it is expansion. And those who are reading those stories, and even the scholars in that story, they don't understand the Raz. They don't understand the psychodrama that is within that story. So here we are emphasizing the psychodrama, how that story has got a meaning, for us. So some areas, there are also lots of other things which is not connected with psychodrama, which is more like an expansion. But here we are picking up certain areas and highlighting it. In the story, the Maya, the character is not there. That is, we are adding to this. In this, what we heard in the last hour, emphasis is psychodrama rather than the story. We have just taken some support of the story more to understand our mind and how to gain victory.
Yeah, I understand there's a lot of expansion, something about there's a squirrel in there somewhere and all sorts of things. So yeah, it will be a bit distracting. Something that came to my mind when you were talking about the decision right at the beginning, Sita has to make a decision to be free from Ravan. It feels like for each one of us, it's about timing, like it's all, and I wondered about your thoughts because there's this adage, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And somehow I resonate with that. I wondered if it's connected to this. It's like some kind of feeling inside, enough is enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, there aren't any other questions right now. I hope I haven't missed any, but at this point.
So we have seen the game that is going on. Sita and Rama are on one side, Ravan and Maya are on other side. We saw normally Ravan is a big monster, has defeated everyone, and huge chaos. If in this world there is sorrow, misery, misfortunes, 100% of its cause is Ravan. Ravan is the one factor that has created this major degradation of the human race. And so to stop Ravan within yourselves is like a huge, huge success and achievement, and definitely necessary to take a step and go through this story again to understand it better. But now we are going to see we also need to stop Maya. That is, Maya is another player, and Maya has got its own clever prompts. For example, Maya's, whenever it is really important that is going to lead to victory, Maya will say, do it later. And you all hear it, yeah? Internally, we have to check. Is this happening within yourselves? And then you have the choice. Okay, Maya tells you do it later. What does the Ram would tell me? And Ram says now or never. And then I have the option to listen to Maya or to listen to Ram. Maya says you are weak, and Ram says you are Shakti. Shakti is like a goddess that rides lions. Maya says it is very difficult. Ram says it is easy, Raj Yoga. Maya says it's a long, long process. It might take many years, and it may be decades, so don't do it slowly. And Ram says it's a game of 1 second. Just stop, fly, get out of this mess. Maya will come with excuses why you should not do whatever that is going to lead to victory. Maya will tell why you should not do it. Different reasons. And here you are saying use the same brain to think of solutions. Instead of using brain to think of excuses, Maya will create doubts. You are using brain to create all kinds of doubts. You are using the same brain to bring yourself to a level where you are sure about all the basics of knowledge. You should bring yourselves to 100% clarity, and that you are very, very clear and sure about the basics. That foundation is good. Maya says you are busy, and as was said, you keep yourself busy with Ram. Before Maya keeps you busy with Maya, you keep yourself busy with Ram. In essence, you need to give a little thought. If you observe, and Maya comes with the cleverness there, but it is perverted cleverness that is against you. And how to know Maya? And say, for example, you know what is right and wrong. Some situation, you know what is right, you know what is wrong. But should I eat this or should I not eat this? You know what is right and wrong. And you might find you still end up doing what is wrong. You yourself know what is wrong, and still you are doing what is wrong. That is what we call Maya.
That's the question that's coming up. How do you define Maya? You just said perverted cleverness. So it's intelligence,
Yes.
intelligent deception. Is that a definition?
Yeah. Now we use that expression, kakos kalos. Beautiful and wicked. So that is what Maya is. So it is coming with all sweetness, very convincing and very clever, but there is the agenda is 100%, against you, and it is meant to defeat you because it is playing for Ravan. It is 100% committed to Ravan. So also Ravan is not going to, you bring him 100% clarity how absurd it is. Ravan will not change. Ravan will remain Ravan. Ravan remains in ignorance until the end. So in this game, we are not trying to change Ravan into something holy. We are not trying to change Maya to something different. We 100% accept Maya. That is the way Maya will come. Maya will do that. That is predictable, But you have the option to stop. So you come with the clean perspective. Like here, for example, you are saying, No, I'm going to do it now. Full stop. You are not negotiating with Maya. You are not negotiating with Ravan. There is no need, because it is waste of time. We just have to stop. Stop the demon. They say some animals like a dog, he can be barking, but he can also become friendly. If you do the right thing, he can become friendly. But crocodiles, they don't become friendly. They see you as a cake. Even if you try all your best, methods, he sees you as a cake. He will run after you. So Ravan is demon. He's not just a crocodile. Ravan is a demon, and Maya is coming from the demon clan. So they are hardwired to be demon. So here the solution for that is just remove them. Take a position that is clear and it is 100% to stop. That is the position. So that's the great news. If you have stopped, this monster, Ravan, every day you stop the supply, it is getting weaker, and that's great news. As it is getting, you stop the supply, he will, of course, bang the table, and he will bring smoke from his ears. He will try different things, but Sita knows she is invincible. Nothing can touch her, harm her, even the slightest. Sita knows this. And as a result, Sita is not affected by all this smoke and drama of Ravan. She just need to know this. This is a good paper tiger. It appears frightening because Ravan is banging, but Ravan cannot do anything more. He can just make this drama, but that is the end of it. And that smoke will become less every day, and his banging will also become less as every day passes. And then it is victory. Yes, excellent. Let us hear some thoughts from you.
There was trying to find suitable quotes, but one is, "Don't argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference." But I mean, here we're talking about our own, ignorance in a sense, isn't it? So raise the game internally, isn't it? Rather than negotiate in the dark with our lower consciousness. Another one is, "Never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty, and the pig likes it." Just a bit of a light-hearted quote there. Yes, a question here. Why do some decide not to defeat Ravan but be with him, while some decide to be with Ram?
It is success of Maya. It's a game. Everyone is in a game. And as was said, not everyone wins. There are winners and losers. And what we have discussed today, right now, that is empowering Sita, because you know beforehand the different players, you understand Maya, and you understand that you have got the antidotes. Ram is helping you to use the antidotes. You can stop Maya. So to know it is very, very useful. Even after knowing it, we can still not use them. That is the thing. But if we don't even know what can be done, or if that Maya is there even, then it is difficult suddenly to take a position against Maya. But yes, we have the option to use Sanjeevani, we have the option to offer Sanjeevani to others. That is, they understand the game.
Yeah,
They
that,
understand the enemy.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it leads to this question, possibly it's a similar thing. How much to be concerned with Maya manifesting in other people, for example, friends and family? How much do we keep at distance?
The friends and family, unless they have understood the whole game and taken a decision, then what can anyone do? As was said, even Ram cannot do anything unless this Sita takes the decision. So first we have to offer them the option of taking a decision. If the decision is not taken, even Ram cannot do anything. That's why Ram is going to help, but it is conditional upon she taking the decision. So we can truly not do anything, but we can create positive, our stage, inner stage will help the process of victory in others also. But it will promote the decision-making power.
You become a blessing then, don't you? Because your conviction to run and win at the inner game, then anything they do, if it's a small corporation, because you're running, it becomes a good karma in a way, just their association with you. And in time, they'll be inspired directly or indirectly. But you're not being deterred or distracted is like creating an energy of upliftment. I mean, I was really reflecting on this because we really want to help and we've got insights, but it's so true. If decisions not being made, you really better sort of keep focused. And then your vision and attitude of Sita, the one who knows to get out of the fog, that seeing the Sita, even if they're not seeing themselves, in time it will help. But I really appreciate the question. Would Ram's assistant Sita be aware of the drama at play?
Drama is the play, and this is what the knowledge, Ram gives knowledge, all the details of the knowledge, and that is what makes the player powerful and winner. How much she's understood, how much she wants to understand, all that matters.
Yeah, it was actually a comment off the back of a question, which was, why doesn't Ram have an assistant like Maya is a good assistant to Ravan? But I guess we have to be that assistant.
Yeah.
Living by example. Yeah, living by example is the most powerful way of helping others. It's a nice way of putting it. Now, a question in the mythology, the images of Hanuman, who's considered to be superhuman. Does this require us to be superhuman in order to overcome Maya?
Just a human is enough, but human that is not following Maya. The human that has got a recognition of what Maya is and who Ram is. This is all that's required. Other things are the mythology and fictional, but here all that is required is you are clear, you know the crease, you know the line, you know the enemy very clearly, if it is fuzzy, someone is fuzzy about who the enemy is, sometimes working for the enemy, sometimes against the enemy, then the score is less. But if someone is very clear, that is all that's required to win. We don't need the ability to fly and that superhuman that is shown Hanuman. That is not required.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you. So there aren't any other questions right now. Is there anything you want to add?
We'll have the break rooms.
Yes. Yeah, we will put a copy of this story in the drive as well, because it, as you're saying, I mean, I'm always writing notes because it's so deep. So we will share a question for reflection in the rooms, and maybe create a minute just to stay with that question. Then we'll open up. And so what inner games do you notice within yourself? Need to see, the later, difficult, busy, etc. Try and recall those things, and what would help Sita win over Ravan. Juliet's already written one point, good company, which is great aspect as well. So let's maybe reflect on this for a minute, and then we'll open up with a room for sharing. So warm welcome back. This hugely deep subject. So good to hear some of the discussions. Should we have a moment of this stepping back? This was beautifully put, the option to come back behind the line. You. So what came up in the rooms? What were the approaches or aspects? The inner games, what helped Sita? And the good company was a point that was mentioned already. And this aspect of making a decision, but what other powers would be useful? And discrimination was in a way implied with knowing the crease. And that feels fascinating, because what it first appears like is simple, but the subtlety we have adapted. So Maya's been on the WhatsApp. She's happy to give all the media. And of course, we're talking about the prompts in the mind. So how to be our own friend and get ourselves in that vision of Ram. What is Ram's vision of Sita? Powerful, and has within herself the power to not feed Ravan. That felt very empowering as well. And this aspect that Ravan will bang the table with the steam coming out the ears, but this to resist that initial kickback. It'd be great to hear what your reflections are. Meanwhile, welcome back to Prashant. Thank you.
Thank you and hello. Let us come to the experience based on what we heard just now. Something so central for us to know that our world is invisible. Everything of ours is invisible. Including ourselves. We use the word alokik for this, which means it is spiritual, not worldly, not earthly, unearthly. And what we see at a gross level, it is in the foreign world, including this role, Prashant. The whole lot is in the foreign world. It is a temporary world. It is a fictional world. When we talked about crossing the crease, which is the line of ignorance, if that foreign world appears to be my world in some way, we go into that foreign world and say, this is mine, this is my land, this is mine, I, me, it means I have already crossed the line. Not one atom from that world can be mine, then you are behind the line. So our effort is, even for 1 minute, to get it 100% right. That is a starting position for this big victory. Once you cross the line, then confusion starts. Because ignorance brings more ignorance. And you are then working for Ravan without knowing. With all best intention, we all want spiritual progress. But you go in our reverse gear. We are in a reverse gear once we are in the Ravan's camp. No one in the world wants to work for demon, but they all are 100% slaves, and no one knows. No one is rushing to do something about this, because everyone is settled to that situation. They are in a reverse gear, full speed, but feeding Ravan. So here we are reminding, yes, here is the foreign world, it is a temporary world, fictional world, it is a story world. And not one atom of this world belongs to anyone. Who is saying this? The invisible witness. It is not Prashant saying it. That Prashant is already in the identity is waiting there. One of the Ravan's head is very much tied with this role. So the invisible witness is saying this. Invisible witness is 100% free from any identification. He doesn't take anything personally there in that fictional world. He finds it strange anyone would go in the fictional world and find reasons to be angry and hold grudges and feel stressed. He finds it strange. It is a fiction. He has got his world beyond. And his world is eternal. His world is with his true family. They all are like him. Tiny stars, immortal. And they all, their eternal truth, and their original, their starting position, they all are beyond harm. The story cannot harm anyone. They know this. There is no panic, and they don't have to run like headless chicken. They know many things happen in the fiction, but their world is of silent celebration with the family. Everyone is immortal and beyond harm, desireless, and they are free from the story. If anyone is free from the story, understand story as story, they are naturally egoless and viceless. Vices and ego are there only if we cross the line. That's why everyone is noble and divine. They are free from Ravan. That's why they are divine and worthy of greatest respect, worthy of love. This automatically happens. Anyone who is egoless, viceless, sorrowless, free from ignorance, noble, divine, there will be huge respect, feeling of respect. And here everyone is. That's why it is a region of love and respect, a region of happiness, a region of immortality. Beyond belief, this truth of everyone is beyond belief. That's why they win the sky. All you have done is win over this Ravan, and then you win the sky, you experience this supreme reality, but you also win the earth. You are seeing the story as a story. You are seeing the story without the complications of Ravan. Without the confusion of Ravan. You're amused by various things that happen in the story. The invisible witness, he stays in truth. And just by he staying in the truth, he makes it possible for others to come in the truth. Thank you. Another story that is spoken, it is like a psychodrama, and this interpretation of that story with that meaning, it is we are learning from it. It is not original, but it is beautifully made easy, because all this what is happening in our mind, it is so abstract and ordinarily not not able to understand properly what are these different players and leave aside gaining victory over them. And someone like Gandhi, these are very rare. Gandhi said, he's fighting 3 wars, he said. One is against the British Empire. One is against the landlords within India. They are exploiting the poor. The Indians are exploiting Indians. And he said third war is demons within himself. And that are his words. And that is his main war. Not many people say this. There are very, very few who have got this realization and came to that conclusion themselves. But for us, it is like very, very clearly shown who are these demons inside ourselves, and then worth revising again and seeing who are these demons. It is not just some few here, all the hates we have to see. How when we cross the line, different small ones, big ones, all of them. The victory has to be total, all the demons. And once you stop them, then you are the biggest prize. And then our job is to free this world from this demon. Make this world Ravan free. Then we have a different society altogether. And it is not a big job. As Maya will say, it is so difficult. There are many who will say, oh, how is it? It's impossible. You can't change one person. But here we say, it is easy. Start with that and starting with ourselves. Now, in this game, there are some powers required. Those who have these powers, they win. And one of the first power we saw already is decision. If decision itself is not taken, no one can do anything. Our journey here, spiritual journey, is 100% dependent on decision. Each one, we have to understand what is happening and take a decision that this has to go, this has to go, this has to stop. And then Ram helps. Once the decision is taken, Ram helps. The help comes from beyond also, but decision is so central. This is why Ravan has appointed Maya, just this one area. Maya's whole job is to prevent you from taking decision or distort it. You are creating some confusion in that area. Second power we need is discrimination. Those who have that discrimination, they win. Like some subtle things, gross things. Some people are very quick at it. They say, this is Maya, is it not? This is another ego. Some are right into the pot of the ego and they can't observe it. Some new ones, they hear it for the first time, they say, this is identification, this is identification. So they get some thoughts and they say, like one person, I will do this gradually. And she herself said, but this is Maya. I can do it today. I can finish it in 1 second also. She herself said. So to spot in yourselves these different forms of Maya that will come and that is coming, and to stop it. So discrimination and then decision. You are stopping it. Whenever you know it is wrong, then still to go do what is wrong. Gandhi used to say it is hypocrisy. When I know what is wrong, and I still am doing what is wrong. And he said it to himself, and by doing this he stopped what is wrong in himself. So power, decision, discrimination. What is another power we need for victory? The one who has determination, he wins. In fact, if there is determination, there is no war. Even in the animal world, you might see some animal is so determined, all the other animals, just run away from that one who is very determined. Some wild animals also, they run away, someone who is determined. So here, if someone has determination, Maya accepts defeat. As an example, say two people want to give up smoking. One says, I want to throw away all the cigarettes that I don't want to keep anything nearby. That is one person's approach. Other person says, I want to give up smoking also, but I want to keep some cigarettes in my room and matchbox and everything, just in case middle of the night, suddenly I don't want to go out, into shopping. So as a backup, just in case I want to keep that cigarette. Who has better chance of victory? One who is keeping cigarettes or one who is finishing something? And because once you have finished, there is no room for Maya to even create a thought because that option doesn't exist. Army that has discipline, that army wins. Like here, some homework is given, some will do it, with a discipline, and they are just they got a style, they got a they like disciplines, and because that it is done with discipline, done it has power. It stops Maya. Really, Maya doesn't like discipline. Ravan doesn't like discipline. Because Ravan wants his own life. Disciplines are more for Ravan. To restrain Ravan, you need to introduce discipline. Like, say, for example, someone says, I want to follow a certain lifestyle. I don't want to eat this, don't want to drink this. It is like they are restrictions on Ravan, and to very strictly follow them, Ravan will become weaker. But say someone has a discipline to listen to spiritual ideas, spiritual knowledge every morning, creating a time, giving it a priority, waking up 1 hour earlier, creating the time to study spiritual knowledge. And then as a discipline, not just when you get time, but as a discipline. Then what will happen, some days you might feel a bit disheartened, you feel you are weak, Maya, some form of Maya can come. You feel I am not worthy, these kind of feelings can come. And then when it comes to morning, if discipline is not there, then Maya will say, you are not worthy, don't go, don't listen to the knowledge, because you are not worthy anyway. You are weak. And so the whole thing slides even further down. But one who has discipline, this is what is observed. And then there are some who say they may have many weaknesses, but they don't compromise this discipline. And then they get up, they have time, they want to listen to the knowledge at a certain time. And that knowledge changes the game because you are now exposed to Ram and you have heard the ideas of Ram. It sort of empowers you. You get a different company in that situation. And then he's completely out of it. What helped? The discipline helped. And this is the pattern that is seen with many. What is another one? another power we need, for victory. Just 5. With which letter it starts, you think?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. With discernment, I suppose that's basically like discrimination, isn't it? To discern, to discriminate. But good option. Okay, destination.
If you are playing any game, any football, say, if you got very clear, you got a goal, and then many situations come. Someone is blocking you, someone is pushing you, someone is pulling you. All situations come, but you got a destination in mind. You are taking the ball, you are going there, and you end up, using the time in a worthwhile way, and also solving the situations one way. You are, if you are just stopping, why you are pulling me? If you stop for 1 second, you miss the opportunity. All these are happening. You solve them, at that time. You're not getting stuck. Why he's pulling me? And you got a destination in mind, and you achieve success. So also here, we need to be very clear of your personal destination, what you want to reach, where you want to reach, and be very clear of that. That vagueness, anything, wind comes in one direction, you go there, other direction, you go there. Then you might not get the same victory. Those who have clear destination, they win. They are great qualities. Worth reflecting on them, and all this story we have to go through and see the personal, your own form of Maya, your own Ravan's heads, your line, what are the powers you need to, how to apply these powers in your life. Go through we have to see our personal life. Now, in other games, you get medals. Winners get medals. Just one medal, small medal. That is the biggest prize that anyone gets, even in Olympics. Here, what prize you get? First prize, Golden Age. We will be talking more on this in some of our other sessions. Second prize is Silver Age, not just a medal. It is like a big prize. So also the third prize, Copper Age. All these are prizes. Everyone receives prizes, but they are like a big prizes. Victory over Maya is seen as a huge success. It is like and it deserves the big prize at all levels. We saw on a limited level, someone gets a birth in the good family, and we said it is all depends upon the game, Raz. But if you go for the big victory, understood all the hates, remove, you get the biggest prize, and the many births in the Golden Age, many births in the Silver Age. These are heavenly ages, but even in Copper Age, Iron Age, as we see, even in Iron Age, there are, certain births that are, like a prizes. So there are different prizes, Copper Age, Iron Age prizes. Through the cycle, different prizes come. Excellent. I know it is about time also, but if any of you want to add anything, if Sarah want to add anything.
Just going back to the powers, I feel like the order is very important as well, that you first have the discrimination before determination. I'm thinking of the Simon Sinek quote again, because you mentioned, in a way, we enjoy a mission, and that perhaps is connected to being busy, the engagement. But if there hasn't been discrimination beforehand, it's very easy to go spinning off in the wrong direction. I mean, seeing it myself, so that little bit of quality checking. And then, the determination is such a powerful thing. If you're ever in a position of tutoring, you really know the students that will make it are the ones who may not have the best skills initially, but the fire to really get it, they will make it. So it kind of creates a catalyst, doesn't it? And the discipline, it's a safety, isn't it? As you say, when Maya comes, when you've got that, you don't question every day brushing the teeth, you just, have the routine, and something which you put in place, it creates the environment that supports Sita. And even 5 minutes at the beginning, I was waking up earlier, but I saw a big difference in the day from this initial atmosphere. So yeah, just a thought about the powers. So there aren't any questions right now, but if there's something you want to add, finally, any notional homework? Prashant's muted. Need to unmute, Prashant.
And I was saying the big homework is the revision of this story, and we all are at crossroads. Regardless of where we are, we need to take decisions also, next decision. So as was mentioned, use discrimination, use decision. It is a journey towards victory. And then Ram is here to help. But we have to take the first step, then everything else follows.
Yeah, like the expression that you take one step of courage and Ram takes 1,000 steps to support. It's a often quoted, but you're getting putting yourself in the right stream, as it were. So we put the powers in the chat. Yes, so something also just observing, isn't it? Like you said, to sharpen the awareness of, is this coming from Ravan? And then knowing the option to bring in an aspect of Ram. We always have these options, but like the devil on one side and the angel on the other, which is understood in a different context. But here it's like we have these prompts. So enjoy the homework and we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you.